Hello, Mark. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and how are you?
I'm good. I'm Jennifer Noreen, and I run an agency called Beyond Brand Collective, and I've been working with Mark for quite a while now. And during COVID, we started doing these updates every couple weeks. We haven't talked to you in a while, so I wanted to give your Facebook community and your YouTube community, they're both watching, just an update on what's going on and what your perspectives of the market are. Real estate market, since I know you have some knowledge there, but also how COVID is affecting your property management business and the industry in general. So why don't you talk about the real estate market first?
Sure. Wow, that's a big question with a lot of
I know, and you only have two
answers.
minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. So the market is still strong as far as the movement goes for homes that go to market. We have more people still staying home without notices to move, and we have more people migrating into the area. So less people moving means less homes on the market. More people coming in means stronger demand and competition for those homes that are available.
Yeah.
And so it
Wow.
does create quite a short window of opportunity, and it also drives the price up as the demand is up and the inventory is low.
So we have no shortage of people moving into the area, which has been going on for a while now.
Yeah.
And the development just isn't keeping up really. So are these people buying condos or homes or luxury homes, or what's the demand?
Well, it all depends because there's certain demographics that come into and migrate into our area. You
Mhm.
know, we have homes that we rent out that are $860 a month, and we
Mhm.
also have homes that are up to $4,700 a month, and those move fairly quickly. It's the ones that you find in the middle, the 3 bedroom, one and a half baths that are between the 15 and the 1800.
Mhm.
Those are really very difficult to find to even have comparables to. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that middle market. There's a huge
yep,
shortage here, right? And is
yeah.
there development happening? Like I know there's apartments being built, but are there homes being built at any kind of pace at all to keep up with this?
Well, homes being built are generally for sale to owner occupied, so that's not going to bring a lot of inventory to the rental market.
Hmm.
The multifamily, that is actually, there was a lot of labor shortage because of that. And now what we're starting to experience is material shortage because as labor was short for production of building, it was in turn also very short in production of material, lumber, electrical, plumbing supplies. And now contractors are actually, searching around, not necessarily looking for the best price, but just trying to find product to build their projects.
So the talent is back to work, but now we need supply.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
have several clients that are impacted by the supply issue. It's been scary. It's caused a lot of creativity, I know, for many to try and figure out
Yeah,
how to
sure
how to
has.
serve their customers with what they have and come up with alternate sources for things. And
Yep.
yeah, crazy times. So you're an investor. You've owned property, but you also run a company called Spinnaker Property Management, and you saw less of an impact from COVID than you expected. I've
Yep.
heard pretty good news from you most of the time we've talked. Has that shifted at all as the rent assistant programs have increased and the stress has increased from COVID? What's kind of going on there?
Yeah, we're still kind of holding our breath right now. As August rent came due, soon after that, the federal assistance extra unemployment amount ended. I think like around the 10th or the 12th, like that second week of August.
Yeah.
And we still have some people trailing who traditionally weren't trailing with what they owe in rent. And so what's it going to be for September? We're not quite sure. It's been a lot better than we expected from March all the way through August.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the stimulus check, tax returns, and then the unemployment federal bonus there made a huge difference, and that just ran out. So maybe that will make a difference. Maybe it won't.
Mm-hmm.
We're still at a very low percentage as far as delinquency is unpaid rent. So that's a really good indicator for us that people are also being creative when it comes to paying their bills.
Yeah, and
And
we came out of such a making hay market. I mean,
yes,
the market was so good going into COVID that I think people had reserves, and what a relief that was for companies like yours, right? That people weren't coming out of desperate times into this.
yeah, and it's, what we're still doing is we have a very I'm not going to use, I'll say the word aggressive, but not use the word aggressive, to be in communication on a every other week basis with people who are in arrears or delinquency, unpaid amounts of rent,
Mm-hmm.
to support them with more and more on a weekly basis. Our assistance programs rolling out from the feds, from the state, from counties, and even cities. Like
Mm-hmm.
Lakewood has their own, Tacoma has their own, University Place has their own assistance program for
Wow. So
arrears.
it's
Yeah,
very community based even now. Wow.
yeah. So it's getting
So
down to the micro level.
So just to mention something relevant here, I worked with one of your staff members, Holly, to get a resources page up on your website.
Yep.
Because Holly talks to people every day, right? So she's talking to people that are in the thick of it, that are struggling to pay their rent and trying to keep their jobs, and don't have, maybe had two jobs, now they have one. And we put a resources page up on your site with a whole list of links of local resources for help with rent. I couldn't believe how many there were. I mean, it was
Yeah.
like, I think she sent me 4 documents. So we
Mm-hmm.
didn't put it all up, but we did put a chunk of it up. In fact, I think it should be live by the end of today or tomorrow morning. So if you are watching this and you're looking for rent assistance, or you know someone who is, there'll be some information on Spinnaker's site very soon. So it sounds like in general, so what are your occupancy rates and delinquency rates compared to a normal market, non-COVID market?
Well, our occupancy rates are what I would say consistent with pre-COVID experience, because we were really coming into
Of
a
course, because of the
strong
shortage, sure.
2020.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now it's our delinquency, because we still only have a few people within the portfolio that are out of communication and not paying rent and not moving.
Mm-hmm.
However, those 7, maybe 10 people have now 5 to 6 months worth of compounded unpaid rent, and that really drives a unpaid balance, over an extended period of time.
Sure.
However, when you take it by the unit number, it really is a small percentage of the overall picture.
Yeah. So it's still pretty normal, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Hmm.
So again, I think it's because we were prepared going into this. People
Yeah.
had reserves. So,
Well, the other thing that I think made a big difference is that we were so connected with a whole bunch of agencies throughout, that we are able to get those um, assistance program informations out to our residents who need them quickly, so they're at the head of the line, not in the middle or at the end of the line.
because you are having the ongoing communications, you mean, just because as a company you're good at that? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, and we work and network and support and are supported by a number of agencies, whether they're related to the
Yeah.
landlord housing provider realm or the assistance realm. It all flows in a number of different ways at different velocities. However,
Sure.
we end up in the pool with it. So,
Sure. Yeah. So you went into this with relationships with places like Landlord Liaison Program and Next
yep.
Chapter, and other people that are helping. So it's not a new scenario for you to plug in your residents to those resources. So how about on the owner side? Are owners content and happy? I know you have many owner clients. You have multifamily and single family home owner clients.
Yeah.
Um, what are you seeing there?
Well, for myself, I have, seen some really strong occupancies of the properties that I own myself. I
Mm-hmm.
actually do have, one renter at one of my properties that has not paid, and so that is a firsthand knowledge experience of that, as like an expectation and
Sure.
not being fulfilled. But for the most part, it really is um, business as usual, with some really specific finite interruptions that are on a case-by-case basis. So
Mm.
buyers right now are still out there. There's a lot of capital in people's pockets to buy things, and there's people out there that are very proud of their product that they want to bring to market and are, you know, aggressive with their market prices, and they're getting lots of inquiries and even offers for those what we would consider traditionally overpriced product, and then go try to find something else. There really just isn't that much out there. So if somebody sold a property recently and is in an exchange, there's pressure for them to actually commit to a deal, depending on what the impact to the tax on the capital gains on the sale compared to the overprice on the new purchase.
So I am a novice at this, and what I heard you say, okay, a lot of lingo. So purchases are still happening. Purchases are happening on what would otherwise be probably a high risk property, right?
Well, not high risk, but high priced.
High price for the quality of what you're getting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that's shifted, and that makes sense that it would, because I mean, I know that for a while there was a joke that people would buy a campsite size piece of property from you if you have it in your backyard, because they'll, you know, put a she shed up there and use it for bed and breakfast or whatever. So yeah, there's just a huge demand in the Pacific Northwest, and I think that's only increased. It just seems like the real estate market, after realtors kind of got over the shock of COVID and figured out how to continue to do business, that it really is sort of business as usual. In fact, the realtors I have as clients they're slammed. They're getting clients off LinkedIn. They're getting clients from unusual referral sources. There's almost a sense of urgency in the market. It's really interesting. It's the opposite of what you kind of, the vibe you get on the news, which is the sadness and the despair about the disease, which is horrible, you know, but on the financial side of things, there's certain parts of our market that are completely healthy, which is, it's exciting, actually. It's stabilizing, right? So what an incredible time to live in the Pacific Northwest.
Well, you know, there's another indicator on how strong the market is across the nation, is that Zillow is one of the biggest real estate marketing platforms out there in the world for both sales and for the rentals. And up until just even here in August, however, effective September 1st, they are now billing by the day for each listing. So property manager companies like us or single family owner operator listing on Zillows are now going to start paying a certain rate per day for each listing, and they're going to get paid because it's a great product and people are getting good numbers, so they can bolt on a few more bucks and still get a rapid occupancy.
And I would say the same for what I do, you know, with social media and websites and email, that people are paying for those services because they need them. They need the exposure. They need the new lead sources, right? So Zillow is healthy, whereas before people would complain about the pricing of Zillow. Now they're kind of like happy to pay it to get the access. And it really is shifting things online in an interesting way. So, well, thank you. I know that you're on a tight schedule today, and it was covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time, but it's still a pretty good news story. I don't want to sound like a Pollyanna in the midst of a pandemic. I know it's a horrible, horrible thing, but it is a bright side. The industries that I get to work within are a bright side, which is nice. So thanks for your time, Mark. And if someone needs to get a hold of you, I can run our little ticker again here at the end. There's
right down here.
There's Mark's name. There's Mark's phone number.
Oh, you can't do that.
Oh, actually,
right there.
Here's the one that has your name. Here's the one that has your name on it. I love my fancy tools I get to use. So fun. So we'll do this again in a couple weeks. Hopefully things will just increasingly get better. I know I'm anxious to get back to normal, and I'm sure you are too. So thanks again, Mark, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks, Jennifer. Bye, all.
Take care. Bye.